Good morning. Here we are at Kathy and Terry's house, and we have visiting geese. We have a female and a male that visit every year, and this is the backyard, which we haven't seen yet. But there's a few things blooming that are really nice. The Brunnera, as you can see over there, it's got beautiful blue flowers. Here we'll take a look at the spot a little bit. So we have a nice little sitting area here that we have our coffee in the morning when it's certainly warm enough, which it's almost warm enough. And here, right under the bathroom window in our main bedroom downstairs, we have a beautiful sweet pea bed that hopefully will be covered with flowers all summer. Sweet peas are one of my favorite. This is the shower window. We have actually a wonderful shower overlooking the backyard, which is quite spectacular. We have this beautiful cedar and a little stream that we put in. When we first moved in about 20 years ago, we had this built, and it's just been lovely. We have things blooming around it all summer long. That is a Ligularia that will have little daisy-like yellow flowers in the summer. And columbine, which will bloom in a few weeks. Or maybe, yeah, probably a few weeks. And here we have lilies. I planted one lily bulb, and now we have 8 stalks about 10 years later, and they get to be about 7 or 8 feet tall. So it'll be really fun to show you when it's done. And the rose bush here is a damask rose, which is extremely fragrant. And there's the little ducky. And actually we have about 20 koi and goldfish in the pond. But the problem is that they go in when they see the duck. That's the thermometer that's actually weighted into the middle, because any day I can start feeding the fish, it has to be over 50 degrees. But here we'll go a little bit. Look, Terry built this potting bench for me out here. Is that the cutest thing? I mean, Terry actually built that for me. It's just so sweet. And we have a little storage unit out here. And of course, that's our air conditioning and heating unit. These are Campanula. Anyway, we'll show the upper deck later today. We have 2 decks. So this is the pond from this view. In the back of the house, place to sit. Since we've done the construction on the bottom floor, we haven't been painted the house yet. But that's the door to our bedroom. The whole downstairs is our main evening entertainment area where we have our bed, our big bedroom. Anyway, it's a lovely duck. I mean goose. That's funny. So we're going into the backyard, which is quite big. We built everything by hand. So we built a 2-tiered planting area here, which nothing is blooming yet, but we have hyacinthoides, which are going to bloom probably in the next week or 2, and they're little bulbs that actually divide like rabbits. I'm new at this video thing, so it may take me a while to figure out how to do a good job. But this is a flowering red currant. That's where I was headed. And it's a native to this place, and so it does very well. And it's been here about 5 years, I think. So they get much bigger, and they flower every spring. And it's been flowering for weeks now, so maybe towards the end. And here's our red camellia, which is just starting to bloom. We have some beautiful red flowers that are starting to open. Here, I'll show a close up. Those are gorgeous. I love camellias, I really do. And here's a view of the backyard, which is more like a park, really. We have a gazebo. It goes all the way back there. And we have very lovely neighbors that we share this past the fence area. But we have a natural stream running underneath the gazebo. So we built some flower beds back there. Here, this is behind the pond and the waterfall. And we have a bleeding heart that's started blooming. Erica's favorite. Isn't that pretty? Bleeding hearts. There'll be a lot more of those to come. This beautiful cedar tree is what made me want to live here, honestly. I'll have to show you a better view later from the upper deck where we tend to sit a lot. And that deck we're gonna actually set up today with our table and chairs so we can sit out here and have dinners when the weather gets nicer, which is almost there. And we built this little staircase going down to the bottom, which is really nice. And actually the birds use these. There's a bird nest in each one of these, and the birds go in and out of these birdhouses all day long, which is so cool to watch. This is the other side of the pond. These hellebores have been blooming for months and months. I mean, they start in January, and we started with one, and they just keep volunteering. They spread seed, so now we have a ton of them. And we actually have a huge maidenhair fern, and it's just beginning to form its little fiddleheads for this. And I love to show the before because it's really a spectacular fern. And then you'll get to see when it's in full bloom. But this is the most spectacular Brennerer right here. It's in full bloom right now. One of my favorite plants, spring flowering plants. And when it's blooming, I know it's spring. And here's another one. And here's some more hellebores. And the goose is quite used to me at this point, so it's all good. I'm really headed over, and there's of course a bird living in that birdhouse. It's made a nest. It's going to have its babies there. And on this side of the pond, we have a beautiful bleeding heart that's just beginning to form. And so it's really early. We have a columbine here. We have some lobelia, which hasn't come up yet. Some lily of the valley. And this huge fuchsia here, which is just starting to get some green leaves on it. It's got beautiful flowers all summer long. But here is what I wanted to show you. Here's the little waterfall and a bench to sit. But here is the real beauty. Blooming camellia. It just started blooming like last weekend, and it's still got more buds to open. And normally I do fertilize it with the Hendricus organic, of course, and the whole garden is organic. This camellia is so beautiful. You can see it from far away. The flowers are just, I mean, if you go up close, they're just so pretty. I love the color. I just love everything about it. And then it just, I planted it myself here. Oh, it's probably been 15 years for it to get to this size. We have an astilbe down here that's just been like iron. It comes back every year no matter what I do to it, which isn't much. We have a fuchsia that's just starting to get some little leaves on it. We have a miniature dwarf hydrangea. And this huge plant here is a lace cap hydrangea. And it doesn't look like much right now, But in about, I would say, another 3 weeks, it'll start having beautiful blue flowers, and it'll have covered with blue flowers. So I don't know if it overlaps with the camellia. I don't remember. Of course, I have crystals hanging all over the garden that throw rainbows everywhere. So that's nice. It's eye-catching for sure. And there's our little goosey. And there's our beautiful plants. Now this is a special ligularia, it's called. And it's beautiful by itself. It doesn't even need flowers to be beautiful because it's got that beautiful dark, leathery colored leaves. So it provides nice foliage color. But it does make these really cute flowers. They come up like little presents. They're like in a little packet, and then they unfold to a clump of yellow flowers, which of course when they bloom, I'll take a video of that. So I like to show the before. I mean, this is really, very early spring because it's back here and it's a shade place. It's very shady back here, this big cedar tree, among other huge trees that cover, the whole yard. And the backyard grounding has almost turned to all moss. So I'll go in the back and show you the bottom half. I'll just shut this and start over. Thank you for watching.